pretty fired up for them for having a little more excitement and playing in a place like this.
The plan you put together there, it sticks. You don't do anything here differently, or you pull things away, or take things away, or what do you do?
No, like a lot of our work's already been done back in Morgantown. So here, there's still some discussions to be had. We're going to be throwing more looks at the guys because, you know, they are multiple front. They'll be moving in and out of 3 down fronts to bare to 4 downs to over-unders, all sorts of things up front. So there'll be some good conversations with some of these plays just to make sure that we're all on the same page and that we're going to execute these plays into certain looks. So, you know, mainly it's just to get acclimated, get running around, and make sure that we have the right mindset. The game plan, the scheme is in. It's more of a mentality at this point moving forward.
So with all the reps that Chris has gotten, have you seen market improvement in his feel with the offense?
I have. You know, the one thing that I kind of applaud Chris for is, you know, when we were out on the road recruiting and we weren't in the facility, he actually was getting those receivers out there and running routes with them and starting to build some continuity because, you know, you throw with Will Greer the entire year. You know, there's a lot of unknowns between each other, and I think throughout the course of this past month that they've been starting to work things out, and you're starting to see that translate through his practice as well.
Chuck's throw a little different ball than Will. The guy sit at a little more velocity, maybe gets there.
It is. Everybody throws a different ball.
Yeah.
I think Chuck throws a pretty tight spiral, so you know, there's going to be some RPMs on that ball. Chuck's isn't as finesse with like the check down, so he puts them, you know, because he's not as tall, so he has to kind of rip those balls in there. So the speed of the ball is going to be a little bit quicker on some of those check down routes. But you know, I think just throughout the course of, you know, the entire 3 years he's been here, you know, he's gotten some pretty quality reps, and these guys know what he's capable of doing.
How's his timing on the downfield stuff? Is it you've seen?
That's what we've been working on the most. You know, there's just a lot to be said. Like we do a lot of open field routes, which he did. So now I started putting him in situations where he's putting the ball on the 20-yard line. He's throwing fades where your footwork has to increase, the trajectory of the ball has to change, and I've been putting him in those situations throughout the last month, and you can tell that he's getting comfortable with the timing. We sat down right before we came into this facility in our meeting, and we talked about the routes that we needed to work more of today. So for the most part, I feel like he's pretty comfortable with all of the route tree, but there's some that he wants to work with a couple of guys.
It's well done. I mean, does he sit there and coach him up too? What's his role in this, or is he just a
He's been great.
Mm-hmm.
No, he actually throws his 2 cents in, just to, you know, tell him that this was his thought process on certain things, and this is why. A lot has to do with just, you know, the players and what they're comfortable with, and a lot of that's just them just kind of working it through, where all the time that Will's put in, you know, he's a very selfless guy and he wants to see us win and have success, so he's trying to give Chugs any advice that he possibly may have just throughout the course of it, but he's sitting in all of our meetings, and he's been very attentive. He's bored, you know, for the most part, but I think he wants to help out with Chugs as much as he possibly can.